It's my feel-good breakfast show.
This is your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso. We're live on SABC3. Thanks for choosing us on this Monday morning. Well, something that we're talking about right now, an alarming report has surfaced recently in South Africa that involves high school pupils, well, using and abusing the drug Ritalin. Now, as we know, the drug Ritalin, it's prescribed to treat ADHD, and I'm talking about attention deficit and hyperactivity disorder. But it seems like classmates are abusing this drug, and they're doing it amongst each other. Now, here to discuss this problem is Andrew Stoller, Director of the Anti-Drug Alliance. Andrew, welcome to the show.
Good morning.
I sit here and I have goosebumps because, first of all, I think, how can we as parents give our kids drugs that are prescribed and let them take it by themselves? That's the first thing that I thought of. But let's get to the problem first. How big is this Ritalin abuse problem in schools? How long has it been around?
Well, we've been aware of the problem for about the last 3 to 4 years. We find that it generally happens in the more affluent schools, so the private schools, although there have been some cases of it happening in some of the government schools as well, and it's occurring in the high schools.
Why are kids doing it? I mean, what are the implications?
Ritalin has a very similar effect on the brain to cocaine. So abusing the Ritalin would have a euphoric effect on the person. In that euphoria, the person will feel more confident, will be able to express themselves in a more stronger way. And when you look at shy kids, it's a really attractive thing to be able to help them come out of their shells.
Now, by no means are we trying to make this whole process seem attractive, and you here to just to help us along to understand this. But the kids are selling the Ritalin instead of taking it. So these are obviously kids that have been prescribed the drug.
That's correct. We're finding that the kids that suffer from ADD and ADHD have really struggled socially in the school environment generally. And they're either pressurized into be able to hand these over to the more popular kids, and then it's happening and filtrating through the school in that way. But it's also their way of becoming more popular within the group.
You're a dad. What do you do? I mean, how do we control all of this?
Well, there's a number of ways. Firstly, the parents need to hold on to the prescriptions. They need to be the ones dishing it out as prescribed by the medical fraternity.
Now, you're talking about the medical fraternity, and immediately I want to go, it's the doctor's fault. You know, how do you prescribe a drug to a kid if they don't need it? Is there a way to fake it? I mean, how do you know, what are the signs of Ritalin abuse if a kid's sitting there pretending to have the symptoms?
You generally find that the ADD and ADHD kids are disruptive in class. And so creating a disruption and acting out in that kind of a way will start highlighting that for the teachers in terms of wanting to be able to deal with the levels of disruption. So by acting in that kind of a way, already it's starting to flag the child as being somebody that might have a problem. On a continued basis, the suggestions will then come from the school that maybe they need to go for a checkup.
I'm also told that Ritalin is not just a drug prescribed for children, but it's also for adults as well. It's something really serious, and we have to say this, and thank goodness most of the kids are already at school, so this is information for the parents. Ritalin itself, I mean, the abuse of it, you work with drugs and people who take drugs, you know. What can you tell us in terms of protecting our children? I mean, how do we... I'm understanding that this problem is in our schools for 4 years already.
That's correct. We need to have a more holistic approach which comes in, where the communication that happens between all the parties involved, the school, the parents, the medical fraternity itself, is very, very clear that the diagnosis is correct. And in that way, it's only then going to be going to the kids that need it, and then it needs to be very strictly regulated and monitored by the parents. When a child stops taking that, the symptoms will occur and appear straight away within the school environment. The teacher will pick up that that child is not concentrating. The parents will know that the child is now behaving the way that he was before he went on to the medication.
Okay, wow. Well, thank you so much. Andrew, talking about Ritalin in schools, antidrugalliance.com, if you want to follow them. Thank you so much. Thanks for coming in. Well, from a serious topic to something that happened over the weekend. Exciting stuff because our baking challenge went down, and it seems like our Facebook page has been flooded with all your delicious baking. I'm talking here about sticky buns. Oh, I can't wait to suck my teeth into some that I can make myself. But we need to find a winner.